So we tried to play Chrono Odyssey and it kind of failed. I mean, just the servers went down. So I'll play it again tonight at some point, but I'm a little disappointed with the game. I mean, I was excited at first, and then of course once I jumped, there's always that newness the first time you jump into a game. Everything's so exciting, and then you step away from the game and you come back a couple hours later, and I think you start to see the flaws a little bit more clearly. And I've said it so many times, and I'll say it again. The one thing that World of Warcraft has done so well for so long is the character controller, and I just think it's so overlooked in MMOs. I think when you create a new MMO, I think the number, like, you should have a bullet list of, like, these are the tenants, not the tenants. These are the goals that have to be achieved if we want our game to succeed, right? Game looks so much more colorful than that, but I've talked about it so many times. I don't know, what is this? Something else. Let's close that. Like, here's key components to Classic Plus. Let's save this file. I just closed the wrong window. I was like, look at that window, and I clicked an X, and it wasn't that window. So I have no idea what that window was, but we just screwed it up. What would make Classic Plus special? Yeah, we got that. I mean, this is the one I was trying to close. Lord of the Rings. Don't save. Okay. Oh, so I have a folder called VS Code Ramblings. Ah. So this says what I would want in a modern MMO, but I want to start another document, and I'm going to say, barest necessities are actually like the golden. So what will you make on Project Epoch? I haven't looked at the skill trees. I haven't even looked at the skill trees. Are they different? You're distracting me, man. Do they have a Project Epoch, like... yeah, that must have been on YouTube. Do they have a skill tree? Yeah, I wish this server was out. I'd be playing the shit out of this right now if this was out. I think as long as it ran smoothly. I mean, I think this. What's funny, Vols, is I think this game looks great. I mean, Project Epoch on its surface, based on what they say and what they're trying to do, and based on kind of some of the videos we saw with some of the dungeons they've already reskinned, looks really promising. It looks really good. But before I get to that, I just want to say why MMOs fail, right? Why MMOs fail. I'm going to say number one, poor character controller. I'm going to put this number one. I think this is the most overlooked. To me, this is... Why is that hallelujah? To me, this is like the most overlooked thing in these MMOs that come out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree, Vols. So far, I mean, from what I've seen so far, a lot of it's what I want. for Classic Bus. But I think this is like one of the most overlooked things. Like when you go into an MMO and you just start moving around, like WoW has the best character controller. I just think it does. I don't think there's a character controller that feels as smooth, as precise. I mean, when you run up, you jump on a fence, you know, it's just really smooth. And when you attack something, you know, it's easy to see. You know, the animations are easy to see. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the art style, which is actually which is one of the few, one of the things about the art style that's kind of underappreciated, is this type of art style makes combat easy to see. It makes spells and abilities and things very easily discernible. You get into more realistic, and you start putting up like realistic grass and all this like particle effects and smoke and all this stuff. It starts to cloud what you're looking at on screen, you know. But to me, the number one reason is just poor character controller, which is combat. You know, poor character controller, movement. It's really all this movement, combat. Like character doesn't move smoothly, combat's not smooth. You know, all this stuff has to work together, right? Yeah, I think. Here, hold on a second. I do think going for a very realistic, but I do disagree with that a little bit, because if you go play Black Desert looked good when it released, and if you go play Black Desert right now today, it still looks good. So I disagree with that a little bit. I think you can make the art look like kind of real and still have it stand up to the test time. I don't know how Black Desert does it, but it still looks good. I think, you know. You know. Yeah, of course, probably not the best example. I want to see the I want to see the world, not talking to NPCs. But yeah, this is a really bad example because this is someone who's just playing through the game from the beginning, which is probably the worst example of what it looks like.
I've had a couple of people asking me. The next thing we're going to be talking about is one of the most important things in an MMO, and that's combat.
But it's also one of those games. I mean, it still looks good, although you can see there's one of the things with Black Desert. It has a lot of stuff going on the screen, but you can hide a lot of this stuff. Like you can turn off a lot of these things that show up. You don't have to show all of this stuff. And his resolution's a little bit on the low side. But anyway, whatever. I still think Black Desert looks good. But in general, I agree with you. I do think that you need a good art direction. You know, Terra I think was pretty good. Terra had a really nice art style. I don't think it aged too bad, you know. Well, here's what my screen looked like when I played Black Desert. So, and it still had a lot of shit going on, right? But this doesn't look too bright to me, right? A lot of it's just how you set up your visuals, you know, going through. I mean, this looks good to me. I mean, you have to forgive the UI because they do put too much stuff on the UI, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You know, people complain about the pop-in, but it never bothered me. The pop-in doesn't bother me. Like, and it's not really pop-in. It's like it's not. It's really like pop different is what it is. It's not pop-in because like things aren't popping in. It's not like you're going so close and things are popping. What happens is you'll see like this grass here, and as you move down the street, it'll move. It'll move from here to here, and then it'll move from here to here. So it really is moving. It's like the assets are literally moving around. They're not like popping in. It's not like it suddenly just appears. Like if you watch in the distance, Like, to me, that's normal. Like, you see stuff appear, that's normal. All MMOs have that. Like, all MMOs have stuff that appear. But what's weird about Black Desert is the stuff that's within your viewable range moves. So, and if you look at, and this, I wish we had a better resolution, but if you look at the grass on the ground next to me, it'll move. Like, some of it will actually move. I'm trying to see an example of it. But like when I'm watching that right there, I didn't see a lot of pop in. Like I saw that horse pop in, but again, that's to me that's normal. I mean, stuff shows up when you get close enough to it. It never bothered me. People always complain about the pop in. It didn't really bother me. Like right there, see the the grass behind my UI here. If I can get it. Watch how there's grass right here. That is popping right there. Well, actually, that could just be it's hard to tell because of the lighting. But you'll see grass that looks like it's popping in here, so that is popping, which is weird because you're so close to it. And there, yeah. So there is pop in. Yeah, you're right. I take it back. But I will say that there's also grass that will reposition. It like repositions. So it was the repositioning of the assets that bothered me more than assets popping in, you know. So, but again, overall, once you play it never really bothered me, to be honest. It didn't really bother me. I wish it wasn't like that, but it wasn't something that really bothered me that much. I was always a little surprised that people bitched about that so much. But to me, the number one reason, yeah. Well, WoW has and if you go here, let's see graphics. Like WoW just has a draw distance, so it has pop in too. It's just the way it does it's a little bit more subtle, I think. So if I zoom out, right? So like when I walk here, what's going to happen is the grass is going to start drawing in the distance. See there? It's actually really far though, and that's why you don't notice it. It's just pretty far away. Let's see if we can. Yeah, I think what the ways, and also you got to realize too is WoW gets away with it because, damn it, sometimes that percentage doesn't go away and it drives me batty. The move any can be really annoying sometimes, but you'll see the grass here. Let's see if we can. See if we can get a better area. I'm trying to. The problem is the shadows are making it hard to see. It's just too hard to see because of the shadows here. But WoW does a good job of it because if it is drawing it in, it's doing it so far away I'm not seeing it. But but it does do it on the 1. The thing is on the 1.12 client, you can see it. You can see it. Like you'll see like the grass literally drawing in a big straight line across the screen as you move. You'll see the grass draw on the 1.12 client. But on this client, I don't see it. But because the way it does it though, it's gradual. So it doesn't really pop in. It's just kind of showing up. I don't know. And it is all happening at the same time. You know, it's like a brush that's just painting the grass on the ground. It'll happen all the way across your view, so it's all appearing at the same time. Whereas in Black Desert, little individual pieces are popping in and out. So it's like all these individual pieces like popping in and out. And I think that's probably what annoys people is how many. It's like all these little pop, 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 like popcorn popping out of off the plate. You know. But back to this, so. But to me, the number one reason for me anyway, and this could just be for me, but what's the number one reason why MMOs fail? And I'm just going to preface this with, for me, this is what I think, you know, or my opinion, right? You know, I think number one is poor character control or movement combat. Because the most important thing, I think, for me, personally for me, is that when I go into the world, my character doesn't feel like she's moving smoothly through and there's so much that goes into that. It's not just, right? Let's get rid of this, because really what it is There's so much to it. This is movement, right? This is combat. This is how do my feet meet the ground, right? Meet the ground. You know, how does my body, you know, or feet, you know, traverse, you know, rocks or rocky, you know, terrain. You know, that's a big thing. Like, and WoW also does another smart thing too. Well, I don't know if it's smart, but you don't see a lot of big rocky terrain in World of Warcraft. You don't see like big boulders and stuff that your character has to walk across. Everything's really smooth, and that's done, I think, primarily for a reason, because you don't have to worry about getting stuck on stuff or it looking really ugly as your character walks across. I mean, can you think of too many areas where there's like really jaggedy, rocky terrain? Like if you looked at my first stream, or me playing Chrono Odyssey, and actually the video I posted in the Discord where the guy was just absolutely ripping on Chrono Odyssey, what he pointed out was the beginning cave. So if I go live here and we go to, let's see. Oh, you know what? I was showing it on Discord. I wasn't streaming it, so I don't have it recorded. But there's a cave that you go through in the beginning of the game, like, and it's really, really jagged. Actually, it's in the video. Here, I'll show you in the video. It's in here, right? Right here. So when you first start the game and you kind of go through this beginning kind of tutorial thing or like entrance, you get into this cave and the terrain is super jagged. You know? You joined my server? Okay. Oh, I just saw your message. Yeah, we can. Yeah, Null wants to take down the Wyvern. That's cool. I didn't see that message till now, Null. Sorry about that. I don't know if Blue's on the stream. But yeah, this terrain, like when your character traverses this watch, it's very like choppy, you know. And if you try to traverse that terrain without jumping, your character just kind of like bounces off of it. And the other thing he was complaining about is how he was saying that it doesn't look like your feet ever really are touching the ground. I mean, the run animation is really poor. Like when you see the character running and this kind of sideways at an angle, it's a really bad animation. Like watch how it's right here. See that sideways kind of strafing? It doesn't look really good. But when you're in this darker, the other thing that really bothered me was this. Notice how there's like this ash falling in the sky, but every time you strafe or turn the screen, the ash starts moving sideways, which it shouldn't do that. Ash is falling down straight from the sky, but just because your character moves from left to right doesn't mean the ash should start moving the same direction as the character. Watch how when he moves, see how when he moves left to right, the whole like turns the screen, all the ash starts looking like it's moving left and right. That's such a glaring mistake. I can't believe they even let the game come out with that, because that's just such an obvious mistake. You know, see the white flecks in the air. Like when he rotates the screen, how they all start moving left and right. That's such an obviously glaring issue. Like, why would you allow that? And now he's talking about how a lot of people compared this game to New World, but New World's, and then he talks about Bless Unleashed, whatever. But New World has a much better combat system. It's much more fluid.
What can I do?
You know, it's much more fluid. But back to this, like when I talk about the character, I'm talking about movement. I'm talking about how it feels in combat. I'm talking about how do my feet even feel like when you're walking. You know, how do my feet meet the ground? You know, how does it look when my character is just walking across the world, across the across the terrain? You know, it has to look good. Like when you look at World of Warcraft, right? Like if I put my character into just this walk animation. You know, my feet are clearly on the ground, and it just looks really good. And notice that when I rotate the screen, there's no like, even if I'm like moving my character while rotating the screen, you don't really see like any like shaking or jaggy camera movement. There's no like frame drops. There's no screen sharing. You know, everything looks really, really, really good. And that's why I've always said that I think World of Warcraft has the best character controller I've ever seen. I just can't. And it's I like the precise character controls like this, where like when you move one direction and once you turn back the other direction, you turn immediately. I know it's not realistic. A lot of MMOs will try to make it that when you're running in one direction and then you turn to go left, your character will kind of slow down, stop, maybe slide a little bit, then turn, and then start running the other direction and then speed up, which is more realistic to real life. But I just don't feel that it translates into the game. I think people would much prefer really precise control. Like when I'm moving this when I turn, I like the fact that it's precise. Like immediately I'm feeling that turn. To me it just feels better.
Good day to you.
All right, I'm going to turn it. The only reason I'm going to turn the graphics on the ground down a little bit is because my character only gets weapons from crates. So I don't want to miss actually seeing crates in the world. Oh, man. So it's really sad, you know. We see so many MMOs come out and they don't nail the number one thing, which is just the character has to feel smooth. There has to be good control. How does it look when your character is doing their walk cycle, their run cycle, combat, movement, all that stuff has to feel really good. And then there's more to it than just this. I mean, there's like, I'd say the number two. I think to me that's the number thing that's most important for me is the character controller. The number two most important thing for me is the visuals, and I will say the visuals. And there's a lot that goes into the visuals, right? So visuals. And a lot of this is like, smooth terrain, no jagged edges, or seams in the textures. Character can, it's open world, right? Open world. If I see a mountain, I want to be able to walk to that mountain. Right? If I see a river, I should be able to swim across the river. Right? So open world is really important to me. And then other visuals is, and we'll put it into another category. We'll say visuals, combat. So there's visuals for combat, which I think is another really, really overlooked area. And this is like, combat animations should be very clean and easy to discern. And what I mean by that is it should be very easy to see what an enemy's doing or what you're doing. Like if I go up to fight a frost mage and the frost mage starts, and I'm doing PvP in World of Warcraft, and the frost mage starts to cast a frostbolt, I know right away the frost mage is casting a frostbolt. If a hunter is charging towards me and they start to shoot an arrow, I can tell they're going to shoot arrow. If a rogue is going to go do Sinister Strike, a lot of times, or like Gouge, for example, you're going to see like the animation of Gouge. You're going to know, it's a Gouge or whatever. And some of those things you can't do anything about it, but some of those things you can, right? If someone's casting a frostbolt, I may want to, there might be certain things you can do. I mean, most of the stuff you can't do because, WoW is, it's not like an aiming game. It's not like when you cast frostbolt, you're going to miss. You're going to hit, right? But still, it plays into your tactics, It's like always casting frostbolt. I know it's going to hit me. I know it's going to slow me. Is there something I might want to do? Do I want to cast Hand of Freedom? Do I need to use a healing potion? Do I need to maybe think about some sort of frost resistance? If I'm a paladin, do I want to switch to frost resistance aura? I mean, there's a lot of different things you can think about. Do I want to throw like an iron grenade at them before they finish their cast? Maybe that'll interrupt the cast. There's a lot of things you can do. And in a lot of games, when I play them, it's so hard to see what the enemies are doing that, and of course you learn it over time. Like Guild Wars 2 was really hard. Like when I first played Guild Wars 2, it was really hard to see what people were doing. And after playing it for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, or maybe even 2, 3 months, especially in PvP, I learned all the animations really well, and then I could start picking out what people were doing. But it took time. It wasn't like easy right off the bat. Final Fantasy is the same way. Final Fantasy has way too much particles flying all over the screen. It's actually a visual nightmare in my opinion. But you can go into your settings and turn down a lot of those visuals. But again, then now it's like, I feel like you shouldn't have to do that. To me, you shouldn't have to do that. The visuals should be clean. They should be pretty. They should be nice, but they shouldn't be obtrusive to you discerning what people are trying to do. It's, and then World of Warcraft nails it. It absolutely nails it, right? So this is apparently going to be a really short stream because it looks like supposedly Chrono Odyssey goes back up at 9:30, and I know Blue was saying he wants to try to kill Blue wants to try to tag team the Wyvern, so I'll probably jump back over to Chrono and try to kill the Wyvern. Maybe we should have called this stream the Hardcore Hunter / Chrono Odyssey stream. But Chrono Odyssey is getting absolutely annihilated. And one of my favorite streamers, a streamer that I really respect, is Snoops. And Snoops was fairly brutal on... is it Snoops or Stoops? I can't remember. Snoops, Stoops. It's Stoops, okay. But, I mean, he's got a video right here. And, of course, a lot of these titles are clickbait. But he says Chrono Odyssey isn't ready yet.
Still blowing people up. What is this? Also, it's like a weird run, right? It's like a weird little crab run.
Look at her hair.
Crab run. This area kind of sucks. Also, like when the way you like move over stuff. So we're gonna hit a few things along the way to like level up our weapon, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Crab run. Grayscale, it's just the lighting, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the lighting is really bad here.
Like I wrote that in my review. The lighting in the game, like some points in the day, it feels really good and it looks really good. This is why you play Chainblade. It's like the only weapon that has this insane AoE on a very short cooldown, but it drains HP. The lighting just looks good, and just depending on where...
Oh, see, I wasn't sure which character that was that had those blades. So that's actually a Berserker chain blades.
You are, and the time of the day, it's just weird, right?
But again, so the one character that I saw when I was playing Chrono Odyssey that looked completely overpowered was the chain blades. I would be fighting like a mob, and then all of a sudden somebody would come up behind me and just kill like all 4 of the mobs in like 2 seconds. And every time that happened, it was somebody with chain blades. Every time.
Right? Oh! You look great. Thanks, bro. Your grandma is gone. Yeah. I got when I... Move out of the way, sir. Only 10k players for 1 million. I mean, if the servers are working, they're probably going to do another wave. That's another thing to find the path here. Move out of the way, sir. Only 10k players for 1 million. I mean, if the servers are working, they're probably going to do another wave. That's probably what it's going to mean. But 10k is wild, by the way. To be honest, I don't know how much of the 1 million are fucking actual players, though, and not bots. In this game, by the way, I didn't actually read this in the review. You can climb on almost on anything, bro.
You can. And I was very happy. I'm just going to stop this. Because we're going to be back. Actually, no, we still got 30 minutes. I'm sorry. Let's just keep going. But, is my start attack... Let me do something here. I changed this, and I think it's kind of screwing it up. Let's just do this. Yeah, we don't need that. Okay, cool.
Like in this game, a lot of things will literally be like in a fucking weird cliff that you're like, how do you get up there? You have to just climb it. So I think you clear the fog here, and now look at it. See? The water still looks rough on the outside, but the lighting looks better now, right? I don't like rain in this game, but it looks better, right? So that's what I'm saying is the game's lighting is very... They need to work on it, I think, because it doesn't...
You know what's funny is most of the Unreal Engine games I've played, the lighting seems to be an issue, and I don't really understand why, because I belong to the Unreal Engine, YouTube, channel, and when they come out with videos talking about, engine enhancements and stuff like that. I actually get the notifications, and I watch some of those videos. And those guys, whenever they do, like, whenever they go in and they'll do like code camps where they'll create stuff from scratch, and I've never seen any issue with lighting. So I just don't understand why these game makers can't get the lighting to work. And there's plenty of other YouTubers out there that'll create, like creating a fantasy scene in Unreal Engine 5, right? There's plenty of videos out there where you'll see somebody. Let's see if we can find one of the YouTubers that I recognize. None of these. I don't know any of these guys. I was hoping it would come up with somebody I recognize. Here, Unreal Sensei, he's good.
Hello, everyone.
This guy's actually really good. So this is like Unreal Engine 5 beginner tutorial, but you'll go through and you'll see him like create like a scene and just put lighting and stuff in it, and it just looks great. And I don't, I don't know. And I don't know if he's done anything recently. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I've watched lots of these videos, where people do like scene creation. Let's see if I can do. Let's see if we can find one of the other guys that I know. I mean, Unreal Sensei is really good. I think I might have watched Muhammad before. I don't know Magnet VFX. But I mean, look at the lighting here. I mean, this looks fantastic, right? And so this guy's going to go through and just create like a scene. And you're using a lot of the assets that come from, because you remember the Unreal Engine bought, they bought Mega, whatever it is, Mega Scans, or whatever that big asset, they built it into the client now. So you have access to amazing materials, like right out of the box. You don't even have to buy them. They're just there. And he's just going to go through and throw in a skybox, throw in some rocks, throw in some water, throw in some light sources, and just set up the renderers and stuff, and look what he gets. I mean, and I've seen lots of videos like this, so I don't understand how these game makers can't create scenes with decent lighting. I don't understand it. So I don't know if they're just like, if they're just rushing and they're trying to rush these games out too fast, or what's going on,
Do you have 100 ping? Where are the servers? Zimbabwe, I guess. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's based in Korea. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Let's go do a few things real quick. We need to go grab this quest here. Go for crit rate for sure. Turn this quest in, get some gold. And then after I go do that, we're going to go. Yeah, I'll do some more giveaway in a second. I just want to get going here. And this guy sells crafting tools.
Yeah, I probably should go through some of the videos, because from what I've watched on Chrono Odyssey, the crafting gear is really good. So you should be crafting gear, if you want your character to be strong. If you want your gear to be strong, but we got 26 minutes until theoretically the servers come back online. But that kind of... Let me see.
Most underrated aspects of 3D, and that is lighting. Those of you familiar with my channel know that most of my Unreal Engine videos target the more advanced users, so I figured I would change it up a bit and talk about lighting for the absolute beginner. If you don't know anything about lighting or how it works, let alone how to get things looking good in Unreal Engine, this is the video for you. And just to be clear, in this tutorial, we'll be using Lumen and UE5 with a fully dynamic lighting approach. We will not be learning about baked lighting. So I'm not going to waste any more time with the intro. Let's jump straight into lighting right after I tell you about my sponsor. Next, we're going to scroll down to the... If your was disabled, it would actually just be pure... becomes out. It's... So keep that in mind.
This actually looks like a pretty good video that he's doing on lighting. Yeah, I have not unlocked. Did I think? I hate it when games do that. I really don't like it when video games make you go through like tutorials to unlock aspects of the actual game. I think that's stupid. I think people should just be let loose into the world, and that's because that's just the way the worlds are. Just let people run rampant, man. You should be able to just go into the world and start crafting. I mean, go find a vendor, buy a logging axe, and go start chopping down a tree. I mean, I'm not a fan of like, I want you to go on a quest to chop down lumber. I'm like, nah, what? You know? Oh, is it? Okay. Alright, well, we're going to stop this stream. We're going to jump back over to the other stream once again, as we are going to stream Chrono Odyssey. So, I was going to be streaming Chrono, but then they brought the servers down, but apparently they're back up already, so let us jump back into that. So I'll be back.